Hello everyone. England's now rated the world's worst test cricket team, and the bloke who wrote off our black caps won't talk to One Network News. Wisden editor Matthew Engel has declined interview requests to explain why he believed we weren't worthy of a 4-test tour. Tonight, Engel's England is ranked bottom by his own publication, and the Kiwis are celebrating success, as our man on tour, Steve Marshall, reports.
It just so happened an Englishman took the catch that sealed New Zealand's first series win here since 1986.
Taken it.
I could see when he was in the air, I could see everyone running towards grabbing stumps and going everywhere. I just knew I had to take it, and it's a great feeling.
It's come through. They understand that does work, and even though all these words have been words for 3 years, they've actually seen it come to fruition, and to win this series is the ultimate.
But a victory looked a long way off earlier in the day as Michael Atherton and Graham Thorpe took England past the 120 mark. But the introduction of Shane O'Connor saw the back of Thorpe.
That's the wicket.
Then Dion Nash overturned the game on its head. Nash removing the dangerous Atherton.
He's given it.
Then finding Mark Rampakash's outside edge the very next ball.
Perore's got him.
It's a bit of a haze, to be honest. I was just, I don't know, just pretty determined to get a few wickets and give it everything.
And he wasn't finished there as he tempted Alex Stewart into the trap. Nash ripping through England's middle order with 3 wickets and 12 balls. Daniel Vettori took care of Andrew Caddick as England slumped to 157 for 7, still 89 runs behind. Ronnie Irani departed soon after the break. England's performance touching on pathetic as Phil Tufner was caught short of his ground.
He's also got a mid-on. He's going to be out. He's out. Great bit of fielding.
Fittingly, Chris Cairns took the final wicket. His performance is earning him New Zealand's player of the series.
Taken it.
The Kiwis have just 5 weeks to savour this series win before leaving for India in October. Meanwhile, the English side has to live with the embarrassing fact that they are now the lowest ranked test team in the world. Steve Marshall, One Network News, The Oval, London.
So the home side losing its last 8 wickets for 39 runs, with Nash doing the major damage. New Zealand's 83-run win providing only its 2nd success in a series in England. Jeff Crowe was a player in the last triumph in England. Now he'll be figuring in the future, as Kate Hurd reports.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic.
A former captain crowing about a New Zealand team he and David Triss take charge of in 9 days.
It's fantastic to be able the opportunity now to just get the handbook, if you like, and just keep turning the pages.
Jeff Crowe was a member of the first New Zealand team to score a series win in England in 1986. That spelled the end of an era. Crowe believes today's winning combination marks the start of a revival.
I'm predicting a big future for the side as far as the next 3 to 4 to 5 years.
The reaction at the home of cricket is scathing. Newspaper headlines confirming England's the worst cricket team in the world. TV reports are equally vicious.
Even the cheap seats were emptying. Little point staying for the matinee performance. Good decision. What followed, even in the context of Great England stinkers, was pathetic.
Others were choking on their compliments.
I'd just like to mention New Zealand's coach, Steve Rickson, who inherited a bunch of no-hopers when he took over the New Zealand team, and he has turned them into a fighting and winning unit.
Out of 16 days of Test cricket, that 14 really were won by New Zealand, which is pretty emphatic.
And something to celebrate once more when the tourists return on Thursday. Kate Hurd, One Network News.
New Zealand's bright young motor racing hope has had a horror run recently in Indy Lights, but today Scott Dixon was in pole position for the latest race in the United States. Kay Gregory has more.
Scott Dixon took charge from the start. The 19-year-old holding on for his first win outside Australasia, and boy did he need it. After a hat-trick of top 4 placings in the first rounds of the Indy Lights series, he slipped from 1st to 8th. But today's triumph puts him 6th overall and strengthens his Rookie of the Year lead.
And gets his first win in Dayton Indy Lights competition.
Guy was putting a lot of pressure on, especially towards the end, and with the traffic and that, I was sort of thinking, whose race is this going to be? But I kept pushing.
But out of contention after just 2 laps of the Czech Grand Prix was Jamie Whittam, the Brit breaking his pelvis after his bike burst into flames and set fire to a tyre wall. After a delay of more than an hour, Japan's Tadayuki Okada went on to win and is now 3rd overall in the 500cc championship behind Alex Crivea and Kenny Roberts Jr. Kay Gregory, One Network News.
Our Sportsman of the Year is defending his World Rowing title this week in Canada, And singles sculler Rob Waddell made an impressive start today in Ontario, easily winning his heat to qualify for Friday's semi-finals. It was also a day for the favourites in the fast lane at the World Athletics Championship. American Maurice Green was a little slow at the start, but showed his strength in the second 50, storming past Canada's Bruni Surin to run the second fastest 100 metres in history. Green crossed in 9.80 seconds, just 1/100th of a second off his own world record. And the fastest woman, American Marion Jones, opened her bid for a record 4 gold medals, taking out the women's 110.7 seconds. Both Green and Jones winning the world titles for the second successive time. A swimmer's sizzling at one of the world's elite events, the Pan-Pacific Championship. Ian Thorpe was right on the mark last night in the 400 metres freestyle. Our Australia correspondent Cliff Joyner has the story.
The man they call the Torpedo was on a mission from the Hooter.
And away.
This is a really surprising tactic from Ian Thorpe. Normally he sits back and lets Grant take it out, but he's decided to go from the front, and that's a definite positive sign for breaking the world record.
Fellow Australian Grant Hackett and South African Rick Niesling stayed with Thorpe until the final 100, when the 16-year-old with size 16 feet made his move.
It was like he was surfing behind these big feet.
Surfing to smash one of swimming's toughest records.
Comes in, 4 touches, world record, 3:41.83. He's taken almost 2 seconds off it.
I think it was the first time that I've really gone out there and swim my own race. I was able to get the benefit from doing that.
Thorpe receiving $25,000 for the record, money he's donating to charity. Also in the money, South African Penny Haynes, today breaking her own 100 metres breaststroke world record. Her time of 1 minute 6.52 seconds, shaving nearly half a second off the mark she set just last month. Cliff Joyner, One Network News, Sydney.
It's been a scramble this month for NRL sides striving to make the top 8 playoffs. So, 9th place Canberra was yesterday trying desperately to boost its chances. Jeff Bullock reports.
Desperate for a win to join the top 8, Canberra ran into a pumped-up Penrith, determined to send Greg Alexander out a winner in his last home game. Leslie Vainicolo showing the Raiders the way early, but the Panthers pounced first with 2 tries in the opening 20 minutes.
Gower, he's got support, and Gower's going to finish it off.
Jason Croker sparked the Raiders' revival, crossing twice in 5 minutes. Ruben Wiki levelling the scores shortly before half-time.
And he can't stop him.
But that ended Canberra's resistance, Penrith scoring 3 unanswered tries in the second half, winning 33-14 in a champagne farewell for Brandy. North Sydney was farewelling Bear Park, Melbourne intent on spoiling the party with 2 early tries. But the Bears finally showed some mettle, matching the Storm in the first half. Michael Buettner's solo effort giving North the lead 7 minutes into the second spell. Despite a late Storm surge, North's hanging on 24-20, and Wests have a hold on the wooden spoon for the second straight year, losing a feisty encounter with North Queensland 36-14. Jeff Bullock, One Network News, Sydney.
And Wests meet the 13th placed Warriors in the last round. At the top end, the Sharks are favourites to win the minor premiership and #1 ranking for the playoffs. Soccer's equivalent of the Warriors today marked a milestone, the Kings staging their first official training session. Martin Tasker reports.
The player coach was hardly looking the part, Winton Ruper recovering from shoulder and ankle operations, but his squad buzzed with a tangible excitement.
Now the kids in New Zealand have a career pathway in our country here to become a professional soccer player, so we're a part of history. It's got to be good.
Home talent has been boosted with Aussie imports, the likes of Robert Middleby and Dino Minelli, destined to become household names if the Kings succeed.
Well, we've got some top-class Australian players, we've got some all-whites, we've got some ex-all-whites or former all-whites. We will be competitive from day one.
That's Friday, October the 1st, when the Kings take on Carlton at North Harbour Stadium. The Kings of English soccer were embroiled in a thriller today. Manchester United actually trailing Arsenal after the Gunners took the lead through Fredrik Ljungberg shortly before half-time. United skipper Roy Keane led by example, though. First he netted the equaliser on the hour, and then 2 minutes from time he slid home the winner, sending United back to the top of the Premier League, a point clear of Spurs and Middlesbrough. Tasker, One Network News.
And the Blues have finally got themselves an assistant coach.
They have indeed. Frank Oliver has been confirmed to back up head coach Gordon Hunter.
Benny, thank you.
Well, after the break, Jim's here with some cool, fine, breezy weather ahead.
Plus the older Kiwi athletes leaving many of us for dead in the endurance stakes.
And a reading project for Kiwi kids reaches a special milestone.